LeBron James says that chasing Michael Jordan is what currently motivates him. And do you know what motivates me is having Jason Rubin back in the studio, fresh-faced, but not fresh-haired, as he had to put his hat on. What hat are we rocking today?
This is a nightmare.
Oh, Jesus.
Look at this. What do you do with that?
Oh, you look like it's the guy that was something about Mary when he...
Great reference. You'd be like, oh, it's a Brewers hat. We'll get to the Brewers hat at the MLB clip. We don't need to talk about it during the Jordan clip, but great hat.
By the way, in breaking news, the least surprising thing in the world is this. The fact that LeBron James, a superstar athlete, is chasing the legacy of the greatest ever basketball player to have ever graced the game, according to many, that's not surprising. That's just, people use motivation from past athletes to power them to greatness. And I think LeBron James has been doing it.
How did he say it?
How did he say it is the quote from SI. So we're going to run that straight away. Let's take a look. My motivation is this ghost I'm chasing. The ghost played in Chicago. Very well put, LeBron James. Shakespearean, even.
Speaking of Steve Kerr, Dennis
Of course
Rodman,
he is. And
Scottie Pippen.
Of course he is.
Obviously.
So they went on further to actually run the quote, which not a lot of people ran. They just ran the first part of it. But taking it in full context, my career is totally different than Michael Jordan's. What I've gone through is totally different than what he went through. What he did was unbelievable, and I watched it unfold. I looked up to him so much. I think it's cool to put myself in position to be one of those great players. But if I can ever put myself in position to be the greatest player, that would be something extraordinary.
All right, I'm angry, and not at LeBron. I'm on LeBron's side. This is what this guy's using as motivation, right? He's using Michael Jordan, the greatest to ever play the game, as his driving factor to be, as if he can be, the greatest to ever play the game. But instead, most of the media, including Skip Bayless, who I will acknowledge, yes, is extremely talented in what he does, has had more success than 99.9% of sports reporters and gets more mainstream coverage than almost anybody else. I'm willing to admit that. However, when he goes on these Twitter rants, which we're going to throw to right now, absolutely destroying LeBron for just wanting to be like Mike. LeBron is an all-time great. Jordan is the all-time great. True. LeBron James will never be Michael Jordan. MJ known for late-game clutchness. Never LeBron's strength. MJ had no playoff blemishes. LeBron has many indelible stains, including Celtics collapse. These cannot be ignored if LBJ invites comparisons. MJ, 6 for 6 in finals with 6 MVPs. LeBron, meltdown versus Mavs. Saved by Ray Allen after unclutch finish in Game 6. Going to destroy him for that one. Lost record margin to Spurs. Give up the ghost. Quit talking about how you're still chasing the ghost of Jordan as if you can catch past MJ's legacy. You can't. Not to go too deep into Skip Bayless's tweets, why does every single person forget, I shouldn't say every, but 90% of media forget that LeBron James railed off an unbelievable scoring run in that fourth quarter
before he got to that
to
final.
Eventually get to the point where Ray Allen could bail him out. Yes, Ray Allen hit the shot. Yes, Kyrie Irving could hit the shot. LeBron is not a shooting guard who's going to take the last shot. That's not his game. Magic Johnson wasn't a guard who was going to take the last shot. It was going to Kareem. It was going to James Worthy. I mean, Bird was the guy that was taking the shot. McHale and Parrish weren't. Yet you don't sit there and start criticizing McHale and Parrish for being, they're just all-time great, not the all-time great.
You know why, Jason? It's because it's controversial once. He's going to get the retweets and he's going to get the mention across, which is what he does. And he does it.
He does it probably better than any other polarizing reporter.
Yeah, similar to all greats is that people want to quantify it. This is why in every sport, like defensive great players are never going to be valued as great as offensive players because they don't rack up the numbers unless you measure rebounds or blocks. And by the way, are you just bypassing Skip Bayless, the recent finals, where, yes, LeBron James happened to be one of the most crucial factors in why the Cleveland Cavaliers beat the best ever regular season team. That's not a stat that you can just overlook, my friend. Yes, you can still weigh up the fact that Michael Jordan still surpasses everyone in most ways, but LeBron James is on that path. You cannot deny it. He just led a team, on paper, were outnumbered by Golden State, a team that put up the best regular season record ever. Mm-hmm. And LeBron James, he wasn't Kyrie taking the shot, but he was LeBron James making one of the most unbelievable plays we've ever seen in the sport, blocking Iguodala in that shot that will go down history as one of the best we've ever seen. So those moments aren't as quantifiable as shooting percentage or points that you put up, but they're still crucial in leading the team to victory. And here's the other point, Jason, which you have already alluded to, and that's why I can't wait for this season. If LeBron James goes on to lead the Cavs to back-to-back titles, 3 straight finals since he's went there, you can absolutely put him in that category. Because here's the thing, Michael Jordan was a fantastic player and fantastic teams around him, but did he compete and beat an undeniable super team that if LeBron James goes on and does this season, all I can say is if. And at the moment, if he does that, you better believe you put him in that category. Because if he can beat a team that has Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, Draymond Green, and Klay Thompson in their prime at the moment, then you are undoubtedly one of the best players to have ever played the game to be able to beat that team.
Sure, that's a fantastic point. It's a big if, but if it happens, yeah, you can actually start throwing him in that category. And it will take years for
people to believe it.
The rest of the world to really agree. Because, again, how people view the now compared to how they view 20 years from now, when Michael Jordan was going through these unbelievable feats as becoming the greatest of all time, there were still reports and headlines in the newspapers, if anybody reads those nowadays.
Previous generation
saying, well, he's not Bird.
Yeah.
He's not Bill Russell. You know, they start throwing those names around. So 2 other important points. For one, it's just his motivation. Kobe's motivation was to be like Mike. Every kid's motivation right now is to be like LeBron. And if not LeBron, it's Steph. If not Steph, it's Kevin Durant. It's like when the next wave of talent that we don't even know that are 5 years old right now.
Yeah.
Like Kawhi when he looked up to players on the Spurs and then started playing with players on the Spurs in the same time. Like he came into the league, Duncan was 38, he was 21.
Yeah,
not even that age. But when it comes to, you know, this being used as motivation, I don't want to just, you know, get into Skip Bayless's hot takes. There's more to it than that because Michael Jordan couldn't beat the Pistons. He didn't beat the Pistons. He needed the players around him to develop and for him to get better and better and better. He had problems beating the super team. Michael Jordan actually never beat a super team. I'm not trying to take anything away from the player I consider the greatest of all time and that nobody will really catch him. But I don't think there's anything wrong with any player of LeBron's stature, of Matthew Dellavedova's stature, for saying, I want to be like Mike. I want to be the greatest of all time. I feel like I'm chasing that ghost. And who perpetuated that ghost? Who perpetuated that motivation more so than anybody else? Skip Bayless, Stephen A. Smith, even the late, great Stuart Scott, who I put in a totally different category than those other 2, for saying this guy's going to be the next Michael at the age of 15.
Yeah. And do you think Michael Jordan didn't have a ghost that he was chasing? If you go and ask him and take this quotation to him, who was your ghost that you were chasing? If your dreams, as if someone as talented as LeBron James aren't big enough, and they make people laugh or take a second or just kind of think twice about what you're saying, then they're not big enough. Then you don't believe in yourself enough. LeBron James has always been his own, I would say, biggest critic, but at the same time his biggest fan because he knows what he can do and he knows the level that he can reach. I think it's embarrassing that we take this point on motivation and turn it down to the negative and turn it around again in this infatuation that we have with comparing people and this infatuation that we have of weighing up accolades and breaking it down into stat by stat. When you just need to observe greatness and just appreciate it and actually be taken back and actually take some motivation yourself. I don't want to be the same as every other reporter, but it doesn't mean that I can't look at another influence of a reporter or an on-camera personality like a Skip Bayless and say, I want to reach for the same accolades that he has. I want to reach for the same level. I want to reach for that level of respect. I think I could surpass that. People may laugh, and we'll come back to this conversation 20 years from now if I've got a blue check on my Twitter name for once. Jesus Christ. But either way, that's the point that I'm trying to make, is that if your dreams aren't big enough to make people laugh or stop, then they just aren't big enough. Then you don't believe in yourself enough.
You can dream bigger. You can get 2 blue checks.
2 blue checks at that point?
Be the first to be double verified.
Nice. I like it.
All over ESPN, and I love it because I think he's one of the funnier comedians out there. But keep in mind, he is a comedian, right? And he's a truly knowledgeable sports guy. He's a big fan, big Knicks fan too. So we went on Sports Nation with Michelle Beadle and, you know, kind of ripped into LeBron also. I think you have to take this with a grain of salt just because he's a comedian and he makes some very funny points, but as much of it, and that's just his take. It's great. I don't agree necessarily with it. I don't think Francis does either, but have a look.
You ain't Jordan, Duke, okay? You wasn't Jordan the first time you lost the final.
True.
You wasn't Jordan the second time you lost the final. And you wasn't Jordan when you started losing your hair. Okay, Jordan made losing hair dope.
He
made
did.
it cool.
He made it cool.
You are making it a slow, painful, romantic comedy that I want to end.
Wow.
Okay, Jordan's kicks are stylish. You can rock them when you're not playing ball. LeBron, your kicks look like moon boots. The reason why you're never going to be Jordan is because you keep talking about Jordan. Jordan wasn't talking about anybody
That is true.
except for being the best. You're fantastic. Be the best LeBron. You ain't Jordan.
Comment below. Is it okay for LeBron to chase the ghost, or should he give up the ghost of Michael Jordan? We don't think so. Keep chasing that ghost. Go on and beat the super team. Be like Mike. Be like LeBron.
I wanna be like Mike.
Comment below, like, favorite, subscribe.